Hi, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. It's great to see you again. This is a RealWealth Series video, 10 steps to increase happiness. I'd like to extend a very warm community congratulations to Martin, Aliska, and Vojta with the birth of George Yuri, born the 13th of the 11th, 2021 at 4:21 a.m., 3.7 kilograms and 50 centimeters. Welcome, George. Your family is so happy that you're here. It's really beautiful news. And look at these cute little bunnies. They're so cute. Let's talk about 10 steps to increase happiness. A powerful way to increase happiness is to directly fight self-sabotage and self-doubt, knowing that you are worthy and unique. You're so unique, there's only going to be one of you in existence for all time. That counts as very, very unique. Because of that, you absolutely deserve happiness. You deserve kindness, you deserve love and meaning and every success in life. Many people talk about happiness, but there's a hidden secret to happiness. Happiness is managed unhappiness. Now I hear you say, Ken, what are you talking about? Managed unhappiness? The reason that I put the chessboard behind this particular quote is life is like a game. If you make the right moves, you're going to win the game. Unhappiness occurs when we make the wrong moves, and that's normal because we're always learning. The wrong moves in life are just stepping stones to greater wisdom. The problem is that some of the moves we make unknowingly. Bad habits steal our happiness. And there is an intergenerational issue with our bad habits. When we are growing up, we feel that our habits are our own. But as we get older, as we have families, we do all of those sort of things. Our bad habits can become the habits of our children. You can see this little guy just poking over here. The dad's had one too many. The concept is bad habits steal happiness and they can pass intergenerationally. That's why in the previous episode 334, I talked about Jesse Livermore. Jesse Livermore was the founder of day trading, but a deeply unhappy person. He met with an untimely demise at his own hands, but that demise spread down through the family. It's really important to understand that our impacts are well felt beyond our own actions, and they also impact others. That's why it's so important to get rid of bad habits. But the problem with habits, they're habits. They kind of happen just automatically. In our community, we talk about financial health through crypto, and we're also focused at real wealth, which is all about the things that give life meaning. Unhappiness is bad for financial health, mental health, and physical health. You've probably come across the concept that unhappiness can get so bad that it ends up with people in hospital through stress-related illnesses. Unhappiness is something that we really desperately need to manage. Typically, people seek to manage unhappiness through what are called covering behaviors. Covering behaviors can include shopping and food, work, drinking, drugs, sex, gambling, you name it. They can be a lot of things. They literally are distractions, but those distractions don't deal with the problem. They don't manage the unhappiness. They just create more unhappiness. Unhappiness also impacts the physiological state of the brain. You can see a normal brain here for a 43-year-old, an alcoholic's brain for the same age, 43 years of age. When people say, I'm just having a couple of drinks, I know I'm going to lose some brain cells. Everybody makes a joke of that, but it's incredible how many brain cells do we actually lose. Alcohol literally is a neurotoxin. It destroys your ability to think. And not just when you're drinking, but you can just see here the brain, what it does to the brain. After I saw this, I always enjoyed social drinking. After I saw this particular MRI scan, CT scan, I said, I think I'm going to go off drinking for a while. And that was quite a few years ago, and I must say I've never missed it. But I'm not a teetotaler. I really like to party, but the issue is when I saw what it did to the body, I thought, no thank you, I don't want that. Especially as I grow older, I need my brain cells, the ones that I have left. The interesting thing too here is this is the shape of a healthy brain from the top down for all ages. The underside of the brain for all ages. What you can see is here at age 17, after 4 years of taking marijuana, the underside of the brain doesn't look the best. Age 22, 4 years of smoking, again doesn't look the best. Age 38, 6 years of opiates, not so good. On the top of the brain, 4 years of cocaine is literally eating the brain away. Age 45, 10 years of alcohol, eating the brain away again. You can see how bad this stuff is. At age 28, 3 years of meth, punching holes in the brain. Oh my goodness. People do this because they want to feel better. When I was really young, I was stuck in hospital for most of my young age. That's why I never wanted to take drugs or do needles or anything of that sort. Basically, my body was a pincushion when I was a kid, so I had no interest in that. But of course, a lot of people do. Looking at these kind of things really is very sobering. You can see just how important it is to manage unhappiness in a healthy and positive way. The very good thing to actually understand, because of neuroplasticity, the brain can heal itself. So if a brain looks like this because of years of alcohol, it can actually repair itself, and so too can these brains with smoking and opiates, cocaine, alcohol, meth, whatever it is, marijuana. The brain is an incredible organ. It also self-heals. Unmet expectations cause unhappiness. We all have expectations in life. We want things to go a certain way, and when they don't go that way, we're not too happy about that. I developed KSQuadrant Analysis because I wanted to explain to people how having high expectations or even unreasonable expectations versus low/realistic expectations can make an incredible difference in a person's life. Also, the culmination of positive reality, that's when you get a win, and negative reality, that's when things don't go your way. These are quadrants. K1 is the happy quadrant. Oh, it's the happy quadrant. K2 is the acceptance quadrant. K3, unhappiness. And K4, expected. Now, what is KSQuadrant Analysis all about? It's a way that you can actually pop yourself into one of these quadrants on average, or when you get a specific thing that occurs, you can think about how you are actually, what your expectations are, and how those expectations have won or lost. So this KSQuadrant Analysis is a counterintuitive explanation of how expectations and reality interact to create happiness and unhappiness. What happens often is people, when they get into something new, they can have very high expectations, even unreasonable expectations. When they get a win, they say, yeah, I got a win, I expected it. But the issue is their expectations were off the charts. They were just lucky. That was not normal. It's like going to the casino, putting everything on a specific number in roulette and just winning. That's not what happens normally. When you look at lower or realistic expectations and you have a win, you can be happy. There's a big difference between saying, I expected that, and being happy with it. There's a very good thing to being below the line. Being below the line wins. When you have realistic expectations or low expectations and things don't go your way, in K2 you just accept it and you just say, yeah, it's just the way of the world. K3 is unhappiness. When you have high expectations and things don't go your way, and that's going to happen to everyone. at some point or another. This is the quadrant of unhappiness. We want to migrate away from K3 into K1, and we need to do that using different thought processes. What are 10 ways to increase happiness? First of all, we've got to paint the picture. Something happens to you. For example, you may get cut off in traffic by a toxic person. Or, for example, you may get ignored, or somebody wants to get into conflict with you, or you experience rudeness, or you're stressed out at work because people are not doing what they should, what you expect. One of the best ways to increase happiness, and how do we do that? You got it. Happiness is managed unhappiness. The first step is you can just say, I expect this. I expect people to be toxic. I expect to get cut off in traffic. I expect to be ignored. People are busy, even when you may be talking directly to them. Maybe they don't hear. You expect conflict, rudeness, stress. That is a fantastic way to go. When you do that, you're actually lowering your expectations, and you don't really care if you get positive or negative reality. Also, you don't have to mind the gap, because your unmet expectations, which would cause unhappiness, they're not unmet, you just expected them. So you've gone a long way towards annihilating unhappiness and therefore creating happiness. The next thing that you can say, step number 2, you can say, well, if not me, it would have been someone else. For example, when you encounter toxic people, people who want to fight and argue and criticize and just generally have a go at anyone and everything, well, they're literally having a go at everyone and everything. If you get in their crosshairs, it's not personal. They do it to anyone. In fact, they do. And if you notice these toxic people over time, they do it. They get into conflict with everyone. So you can just say, well, if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else, and you expected it anyway. So you're so far ahead on the happiness scale. Step number 3, you can say, I let this go. It's normal. Letting go is so powerful, and the concept of normal reinforces the fact that you expected it. You can say, if someone is really rude to you, perhaps you go into a shop and you want to get served, you're in a hurry, nobody's there, they're all standing around, and you say, can I get some service? And they look and just say, they give you some kind of attitude. There's nothing wrong with actually saying, I need to order. You can go into battle, but when you go into battle, you never use conflict, you use understanding. In that particular case, if you're really busy and the staff don't want to serve you, you can just go next door. I'm sure there's a cafe next door. And if it's a favorite, go find the manager of the particular place and have a chat. Let's have a look at step number 4. I'm not wasting time on this. If you get, for example, if you get cut off in traffic, what is the normal expectation? What's the normal thing to do? Of course you would get angry. You got cut off. Somebody would maybe have nearly had a collision with you, but that person could be highly toxic, and you'd never know what is actually happening with that person. If you say, oh, I expected that, and if not me, someone else, and I let this go, it's normal, and I'm not wasting time on this, you could actually sit back and you don't have to do the things that we do when we get cut off in traffic. You could let it just pass right over you. So long as you're safe and you're okay, no harm, no foul. Step number 5, confront unhappiness. This is really, really important. If you are unhappy with something, it's important to confront it, because managed unhappiness results in happiness. Whenever you feel unhappy, if you can manage that unhappiness, it will result in happiness. Step number 6, resolve problems. Problems are really important to resolve, especially persistent or ongoing problems. Persistent problems and conflict destroy happiness. By getting to the root of the problem, by addressing the problem, you can make sure it doesn't turn into an ongoing problem. Step number 7 is to eliminate conflict. Eliminating conflict is a fantastic way to create inner and outer peace. That doesn't mean that you tolerate conflict. That doesn't mean that you become a doormat and people walk over you. Not at all. When we look at real wealth, strength, boundaries, courage, honor are all a part of real wealth. Having strong boundaries is really important. When people want to get into conflict with you, you don't have to participate. It takes a lot of strength to not get sucked into conflict. If you do get sucked into the conflict that occurs around you, it's really important to handle it in an effective manner by not losing your cool, by being in control. This is where such components of real wealth come in, such as integrity, decency, kindness, and authenticity. It is possible to eliminate conflict with the components of real wealth and not to turn to toxic behaviors. Another useful way to look at eliminating conflict, if you don't participate, you've already eliminated it. One thing that often happens, people's egos get affected, or people's sense of self, and that can actually arise through self-sabotage and self-doubt. The basis of that is that if you feel like you need to defend yourself, you may be self-sabotaging or have self-doubt about your worth. When you are rock solid about your worth, and you know that doesn't depend on anything anyone says, only what you feel, that's where factors like courage and honor and meaning and fearlessness come into the picture. Step number 8, have a real wealth focus. You can see just how powerful focusing on real wealth is. It has the solutions to so many problems in life. When we talk about inner and outer peace, we're talking about living in harmony. Inner and outer peace are very, very underrated, and they're very important aspects for a meaningful life. That's step number 9, live in harmony. Step number 10, think between generations. If you want to increase your happiness, think about intergenerational happiness. Are there any bad habits that are stealing your happiness and the happiness of those around you? But think also of the intergenerational aspect. Is there something that you can do to leave a really positive, lasting legacy throughout your family line? Empathy and love are such important factors in real wealth. So are generosity and selflessness, kindness, authenticity, gratitude and happiness. There are so many components of real wealth that we can use to overcome unhappiness. Just the simple act of appreciating things that happen each day, showing gratitude, it's a really beautiful thing, and it can completely change a person's life. Gaining realistic expectations on what we get from life is really important, and when we get realistic about how things work, we can accept things that don't go in our favor and not become unhappy about it at that time. I've taken a very different approach in respect to 10 ways to increase happiness, but after so many years being alive, I believe this is very, very practical, and often people don't talk about these factors. Happiness is such a major issue and a very, very big topic. I'll cover off in another video the internal aspects of losses and disappointment, health issues, blame, shame, and guilt, and ways to overcome those. It's really important to gain mastery over the self, especially as you create a positive life trend, not for just yourself, but for everybody around you. Everybody will look to you for leadership, and with a positive life trend, you will just emanate that. And it also happens intergenerationally. What an incredible, beautiful thing. I'd like to thank the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. We are a crypto community. We're focused on life-changing wealth, but also in changing our lives for the better to become internally wealthy. I'd just like to thank Badger and also Michael. Michael said, "Dear Ken, I follow your content for the past 4 to 5 months. It's given me lots of insights and peace." That's beautiful, Michael. That's what it's all about. So many of your rules are now becoming my mantras as well. Wow, very beautiful. Let price come to you. Absolutely. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And most importantly, master yourself to master the markets. Thanks a lot for sharing all you do. Thank you, Michael. Very nice of you. I share this little statement because it is so powerful in overcoming self-sabotage and self-doubt. Self-sabotage and self-doubt are the greatest enemies any individual will face in their lifetime. They can stop so many good things happening and create so much unhappiness, unbeknown to the person concerned. When you understand that you are worthy and unique, you're so unique. There's only ever going to be one of you in the history of this world. Therefore, you absolutely deserve happiness, kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. You don't have to do anything to deserve those things. You already deserve those things. The road to happiness is a counterintuitive one. It's easy to struggle with unhappiness because many people say, just smile, have a positive attitude, but never actually deal with the underpinning cause of unhappiness, the thing that takes happiness away. Happiness is literally the absence of unhappiness. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from, and if you have any questions. Of course, if you have any things that you would like me to talk about in the RealWealth series or crypto in general, I'm very, very happy to do that. I'm here to help. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market and updates in RealWealth as well, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. It's just like life, isn't it? Life is so volatile. We can just swap out crypto as volatile to life is volatile. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.